had in Lupin. Before, this is a mixed audience, so not many are from pharma industry. Pharma industry a little more challenging than any other industry because of a lot of regulatory controls. So it's like we have to walk with hands and legs tied. Anything we want to change, we need to get approval from US FDA or whichever agency we are supplying the goods to. So that's hence though everything becomes much more challenging. So before I joined pharma industry, I used to say that it takes 9 months to get a project delivered. 2 years I said no, it's 18 months. Elephant baby is born in 18 months. Now after 10 years in pharma industry, I say it's actually 2 times over. It takes 36 months to get a project delivered in pharma. So there's so much of challenge is there in getting projects delivered, because everywhere we have regulatory controls. Any form has to be changed, there are a lot of questions. And I jokingly tell people that in pharma industry, people are paid to stop work. I don't know if anybody is there from pharma. You get that experience, right? People are paid to stop work. So I have told my quality head, the previous quality head, Johnny, in this company people are paid to stop work. I'll narrate a very simple story. We had Minitab licenses. So when we wanted to upgrade Minitab licenses from 17 to 18, so there was a form for change. In that form, name has to be written by hand. So my boy said, why should be written? He typed it. He said, no, the SOP says it have to be written in hand. And he did. I said, no, I'll not do it. And can you believe it? I could not change the Minitab version. I put my foot down. I went all the way to president. He didn't do anything. Finally, one of the quality head, once I was traveling with him in the car and telling him, see, Minitab, these guys, your guys are not letting this go ahead. Then he called somebody, fired, and got this done. But it took 2 years. Just because I put my foot down saying, no, I will not sign by hand my name. I still signed manually. It's not the digital sign, but that was the kind of situation we have in our SOPs. So that's the challenges we work through when we make changes in pharma industry. So I'll give you a small overview of what is Lupin, and I don't know what is the best place to stand. Actually, it's designed to me to stand here. Then what is the whole structure of technology, IT, OT layer, what we have done, how we have leveraged some of the ready applications and we build tools on top of that. Utility is one area where a lot of regulatory controls are not there and we could do many things there. Digital performance management, this is one of the application which have been very, very popular now. NinjaX is a gaming platform, a gamified learning platform, and challenges and solutions. So I'll show you the real examples. So first, Lupin, for all of you who do not know, see what happens is pharma manufacturing is very large in India. But since we don't advertise, so you don't get to know. So Lupin supplies to 100 countries with 12 manufacturing facilities in India, 1 each in US, Mexico, and Brazil. So we have a manufacturing facility which are large markets globally. We've tried to have a facility there. We have marketing offices in 25 countries and 9 countries with subsidiaries. We have 8 US FDA approved sites, and I think this is a little old slide. I think we can leave this. There is a metric called US ANDA, abbreviated new drug application. So any drug which is expiring, patent expiring of an innovator company. So Indian pharma companies make that drug. And how many drugs you have filed and got approval is a metric. So 398 US NDAs we have filed and 235 approved. So I'll not bore you too much with this slide. Let me go to IT OT layer. Now this is a little heavy slide. So go from bottom to top. L1 is what you know, all of you, machine infrastructure. You have smart sensors, smart meters, and some hardware sensors. You'll have equipment you'll have. Then those sensors then go into HPLCs, PLCs, SCADA, DCSs, right? So all of that you're aware. And then you have the layer which is IT layer, where you have SAP and other applications. The problem has always been linking the data which is there in PLCs, HMIs and DCSs and the data which is there in SAPs and using the data together. So in this digital transformation, which is we talk about Industry 4.0, that is what the challenge which we have tried to get over. So this IoT platform, industrial IoT platform, is basically trying to link the two and bring the data into what we call data lake. So if you see, so all this data which is there, manufacturing excellence, manufacturing execution system, or SAP, or laboratory management system, etc., will bring in data lake or data warehouse, depending on whether we want data at enterprise level or we want data which is typically of PLCs, HMIs and all, we want at the site. You don't need so much of data to come out at the enterprise level. And then on top of that, you bring in analytical workbench, use analytics, and can bring in AI components, and data integration, real time, etc. That all can happen. So that's how this whole thing works. The whole Industry 4.0 digital transformation, this is what is the big thing, that you are able to get the data from HMIs, SCADAs and SAP, link the two, put that in, and then build applications on top of it. Okay, moving on to, so what are the stages of digital journey? So I picked up a slide which is a BCG slide published in World Economic Forum. So there are 3 stages of any digital transformation. First, you will start seeing actionable insights. You will get data, all of the people will get to see the same data. Then, because otherwise what happens in organizations, you have data, you bring in data, the first thing the user department does is he disputes the data. This data is not correct. So then you again fight for 3 months, 6 months to get the data right, and then some improvement happens. So that gets crashed here. You bring in data from source systems, so there is no debate on data. The debate is what is the problem and what to do about it. So that's where the actionable insights comes in. Then predictable outcomes and self-optimizing systems. So what are the use cases we build on top of it? So digital performance management dashboard, digital product dashboard. So I'll talk about a little more detail about DPM dashboard. Digital product dashboard essentially is that whatever knowledge we have about the product, so any medicine for which we have filed an ANDA, we have done development, we have done pilot bio, we have done exhibit batches, we filed, got approval, we have done validation batches. These are stages of, and then we dispatch to market and now commercialize and producing. All that data is long data. And if something happens in that particular drug, we need to figure out what happened and when. Is it an old issue? Is it a new issue? So that's what we did is, we got all the data of a product pulled together. It will be lying everywhere, so pulled together so that if you want to solve a problem, you can just get that data and start looking at it. Production dashboard, packing line, real-time output. Laboratory in pharma is huge. So you have actually more people working in laboratory than on factory. There are more permanent people working in laboratory than they work in the factory. Because every batch has to be tested. So typically a batch has to be tested, 50 tests are done. And that is most critical because that's where the regulatory agencies become very they nose picking and they want to see that everything is done right, you're not doing any manipulation. In fact, Lupin itself has got a warning letter way back in 2017 where they said that you are testing quality into the product. So you're kind of testing the batch and then you're saying, no, actually it was tested wrongly. So the actual test result is this, hence the batch is okay, it can go. and then they said this is not okay, this we don't accept it. And then after that, multiple companies, pharma companies have got this, that your invalid failed batch results are high and you can't accept it, and every company started working on it. So laboratory has been a huge thing. And what is happening inside a laboratory is through LIMS analytics dashboard. So every lab has a laboratory information management system. So how we get the data and how do we know what product, what batch is at what stage? If something has gone wrong, what could have gone wrong? Utility, as I said, we have gone ahead more because we are not as complicated in terms of controls. And then I'll talk a little bit about low code, no code, and golden batch. Digital twin is our aspiration. We have worked on it with Siemens. We have worked with 2-3 companies worldwide. We have not been able to crack it in terms of finding a solution which gives us paybacks also. So we're still on our journey. So coming to time cycle dashboard. So the biggest thing in this is that there was a tool already available. We used to call it e-log tool. So whatever happens inside the plant used to be logged, because so that could be shown to auditors that what has been happening, what time it started, what time it closed, who did it, when cleaning started, etc., etc. So we built application on top of it. So there was no QA problem. There is no regulatory problem in this. So we could expand it very quickly. And we used a click solution on top of it, a click send solution. And we created end-to-end visibility of batch process, real-time data on key production metrics for fast decision making, centralized live batch status, and KPA for improved cross-function. So it gives us focused discussion. So typical API plant is a 3-layer plant. You have a 0 meter, 3 meter, 5 meter, 10 meter, depending on, and there is action happening everywhere. And some reactors are changing, some reactors under cleaning, some reactors under processing. So for a shift in charge to know, who could be typically sitting at 3 meter or 5 meter platform, what is happening, through this he knows. And he can then accordingly deploy people to critical equipment and get things done faster. So this is how the dashboard looks like. So it tells you what is the batch cycle time. Sorry. So what is the standard batch time and how much time actually it has taken. How many batches are in progress, how many batches have been initiated, how many completed, how many are in process. So in a plant you might have, because there are multiple equipment, there are some batches which have been initiated, some batches completed, some batches in different stages at different batches. So it becomes difficult to know what is the lead time and which are the equipment at which are critical equipment, what is happening there, what is the waiting time. And this is what, if you control, you can increase throughput. So this is one of the example in one of the important product, whereby time cycle was 35.94 hours. Because of this, we have been able to get down to 32 hours. And that's how the batch completion time has gone down from 56 hours to 365 hours. That's the reduction. So when I'm saying 35 hours means every 35 hours one batch comes out, but the total time cycle for a batch is 556. So effectively it means around 14 to 15 batches are in the process at the various stages. So then hence it becomes more difficult for a plant, the shift in charge, to understand what is going on where. So extending this to a packaging line. Packaging line in pharma industry has at least 17, 18 equipment. There's a primary area, there's a secondary area. Primary area is an area where the tablets or capsules are open to air. So it has to be much better controlled. Secondary area where it is packed, and then the later steps of labeling and packing and all are being done. As per regulation, we need to have each bottle have to have a code, unique code. And in the shipper, I need to also know what bottles have gone in that shipper. So it's called serialization and aggregation, so that I can trace the bottle all the way up to retail chain. That's what is the regulation for all the at least US market and Europe market, which we have implemented. So because of the reason, the furthermore equipment are there. So what we did here was we integrated those equipment through an IoT to see how is the production going, at which equipment, what is the production, and in a big line, time is already over, 5 more minutes, okay. So which equipment is slowing down production, so people can take action, what are alarms which is causing slowing down of production, so that is what is taken up. This is utility, so we created a dashboard. So for the plant, what are the chillers, which are the brine plants, you will exactly know what is the current performance, and this is refreshed every minute basis. And then there's a dashboards. This is a particular chiller performance, so how the performance has improved. We've said it has to be better than 0.61, and we've set the target. The budgets were in the range. Rahul, if you can tell me, what were the budgets in this? 0.6 was the budget. And we have, okay, the lower is better in this case. So if we can produce chilled water at a lower consumption of power, so we have stayed lower. And you will see that there's a real variation. In the months of summer months, the consumption goes up. Actually, you have higher power consumption. Moving on, then we are also looking at how do we optimize further. And this is a kind of a digital twin operation that we look at the data, we see the data, process the data, and then tell the operator what you need to do now. So this is a very important tool which has really helped us. So what we did was that all the data which we have, all the sensors in the plant, through IoT we brought in to a central level, and people can download that data and see what is my golden batch and how am I doing against the golden batch. Giving example of one particular product. So we had this challenge of in a particular product, the impurity was going high. And imagine this is the time, 245 hours, 315 hours, 345, 415. This is how the recording takes place in the manual records. Every half an hour we record data and temperature. Now here, within 10 minutes, we found the green ones are the ones which are good batches, golden batches. The red ones are not good batches. We found the temperature whenever it goes up in that period, the impurity goes up. Now this is something which in the old system we could not track, we could not find. But when we have a system which is giving minute level data, we could find that out and then we could control it also. And because of this, number of cases of yield improvement or the batch failures we have been able to control. And we have removed it from data science team. Data science team did not get involved. They made a low code, no code tool. Team at the plant level can download data and find out what is the golden batch. The golden batch means you say which is the best 5, 10 batches, and then set parameters around that. So digital performance management tool is essentially a tool which for a president manufacturing, it tells him what are his KRAs. And those KRAs are picked up and given to him on a daily basis. It is available to him. So dashboard for him looks like this. How is the operational expenses? How is the manpower cost, permanent manpower cost, contractual manpower cost? How is he doing in PIP? How is the COGM? And so on. And wherever it is red, red is shown. Okay, so my time is completely up now. So I will skip the gaming module. I'll just quickly look at challenges, something I want to share. So some of the key things we found was the governance, regular governance with business team and IT team. We have a weekly call lasting 2 hours, where we discuss issues, resolve issues. And that we have been maintaining very, very faithfully. And we have fortnightly review with president manufacturing. Integration of legacy system was a challenge. Data connection issues, onboarding critical mass of users, regularization. So those are some of the challenges. We've done some prizes, awards, so that people come onto the platform. And once they start using it, then interest will come in. We spoke to users saying, how will you start using it? What is it that you want in this? Made those changes. So that's how we made it work. So that's all I had to share.